What's going on, everybody? Welcome to After Prison Show, and today I want to share a video with you about prison hacks in relation to writing letters in prison. Like how prisoners actually write letters, some things that you might never even have known in relation to letter writing in prison. And I'm hoping that this is going to be a video that you guys are really going to enjoy, and maybe this could be like a new series that we start here on After Prison Show, prison hacks for certain things in relation to prison. One other idea that comes to mind real quick, just, thinking about this, is prison hacks for the prison shower. Everything that you never knew about taking a shower up in prison. You're probably hearing that idea and thinking, damn, Joe, why ain't you running with that one? Forget this writing a letter hack. But I hope that's not what you're thinking, and even more so, I'm hoping this is a video that I can make damn entertaining and something that you guys really enjoy. And if it is, and you would like to see a continuation of this series, please drop a like and a comment on this video. Hit the little bell down it's like right there. Hit the little bell, turn on notifications for After Prison Show. I feel like a lot of people are not getting our notifications anymore. It's kind of sad. But with all of that being mentioned, folks, what do you say we go ahead and we dive head first. Had to hit the head nod and everything with it into this video. Last dive scene I incorporated in a video, people said I really fell off with the dive. So hopefully we got back with that one right there. As we get up into this video, something that you're probably not wondering at all, but I'd like to mention it anyways, is, how could it be some kind of a prison hacks in relation to writing letters? Like, what is that all about? Well, I want to explain this a little bit. With pretty much everything in this world, in life, even in prison, especially in prison, because that's what this is all about, there's going to be certain shortcuts, hacks, things that prisoners do to help expedite, make it easier, make it better for them in terms of anything. Things that they have to do, things that they want to do, things they might not want to do. Prison hacks. And with the fact that I believe everything could have a hack to it, some kind of a shortcut, easy route to get the job done, writing letters in prison is no exception to all of that. I'm going to use myself as a big example to this. I'd rather paint myself as the bad guy than to make it seem like all prisoners think these type of things, because I'll assure you, all prisoners do not think these type of things, but I'm somebody who has served time, and I've thought these type of things and used these type of things to my advantage sometimes. Actually, I know other prisoners, not all prisoners, but other prisoners might feel this exact same way, if not even more than the way that I was feeling in relation to everything that I'm getting ready to share with you guys about this particular subject. And I guess what I'm trying to say, the short of it is, it might be surprising to you, but there are some prisoners who don't really like writing letters and are going to try to find a shortcut, an easy route, a way around it, an excuse to not be able to do it. Hey girl, just put $300 on the phone so I can call you. I tried to tell you they don't sell pen and paper no more. They ran out. Prisoners in here using it for toilet paper. It might not actually be a bad excuse right there. But it may be surprising to some of you to learn that, there are certain prisoners who do not like writing letters. And even though that's going to be a part of this, even with prisoners who do or don't mind writing letters, they're going to tie into this as well. So I guess what I'm really trying to say is I'm going to be covering a lot in relation to writing letters in this video. And going back to what I had just mentioned, isn't it sad to think that though? Somebody takes the time out of their life to sit down and scribe a memo, a letter, pen and paper. Who the hell is even using that these days? Somebody takes the time out of their life, puts their life on pause for however long it takes them to write this letter, or however long they decide to ride with you through the time that you're serving. Take the time to write a letter to somebody who doesn't fully appreciate it. And I want to use myself as the martyr here. Maybe that's the wrong term. There were times when I definitely didn't appreciate mail. And that's sad to say. Sometimes I felt like I was too busy. I'm trying to go outside and play soccer. I ain't got time to be writing no letter. Hey, the following's on tonight. Yo, that letter's going to have to wait. I'm trying to cook this prison meal. I'm about to use that letter to wrap up that damn burrito. And I don't want to say that all times I didn't appreciate mail. But if I'm being honest about it, there are certain times when, you're getting mail and you gotta respond. That's the right thing to do. But sometimes prisoners get busy. Ain't that the craziest thing to think about, when they ain't got nothing but time on their hands? Or they feel like they're too busy, or they don't feel like doing it. So with that, certain prison hacks are definitely gonna come into the picture in terms of kicking that letter back. We're about to get into some of those right now. This first hack that I want to mention is definitely a shortcut to take up some space on the paper and make sure that you really ain't got to write too much. And it might be something that's even overlooked because you might think of, well, what's taking up the space as, oh my God, that is so sweet. Did he draw that? I didn't even know Billy could draw. Drawing a big old picture on your paper or getting somebody else to do it for like a soup. Obviously, a big thing in prison is artwork. Tattoos, portraits, paintings, drawings, caricatures, and cartoons like I was doing, even the tattoo work as well. Envelopes, handkerchiefs, but also something else prisoners will do or sell or buy is artwork on lined paper. I'd be wrong if I didn't say that, I would imagine most prisoners would do this in an effort to be nice. To show that girl out there who's kicking that stimulus check for their commissary that they really care. But there are other prisoners who always got a gimmick, who always got a reason, a means to an end. Like, I don't know how to really word this. If a prisoner gets a picture drawn on a piece of paper, well, that's less thought that they got to put into a letter that they got to write. Dear Honey Boo Boo, I just wanted to let you know that I've been thinking of you continuously and also following the news and seeing that the stimulus checks are soon to be mailed out. I surely hope you won't forget about me when you receive that. Gap that with me. Sort of think of it like a cheesecake. Send half of that my way. I wanted to show you this beautiful picture, sort of like what I think of you, a beautiful picture. Well, unfortunately, I've ran out of space on this paper, and I am also quite low on writing materials. I'll go ahead and wrap this up for now. Your forever ever, always truly, Billy Bob. A prison hack. Get a pretty picture drawn on a piece of paper, whether you do it yourself or pay somebody a soup to do it. And that's less writing that you gotta do. And it still means the same. Kind of like it's the thought that counts. Another prison hack in relation to writing letters is skipping lines. And writing big at the same time, writing huge, all caps, sort of like some people in the comments section. I think that means they're screaming at me. Rabbit usually texts me in all caps. I don't know if there's anything to that. If you skip a line, you probably think about this back being in school, writing love letters to your little secret crush, finding out she really got a boyfriend, having to fight that dude, losing that fight, getting expelled. That ever happened to you? If you skip a line, that's a lot less writing you gotta do. If you write even bigger, that's even less writing that you gotta do. Or to go even further than that, don't use standard writing paper. They sell it on commissary. They usually sell the writing paper or the writing tablets. Sometimes they sell computer paper for drawing, sketch pads. Just a few things you might not have known about that are sold on commissary. Don't let that man lie to you. Yeah, girl, I'll try to tell you, they don't even sell paper no more. Who's using paper besides you? Gosh almighty, you still using that paper? I know you love me. But if you don't use standard paper, say you use something like some tissue paper, which is probably worth its weight in gold right now, or maybe you tear your paper in half, or maybe you got like a torn off sheet of a paper, or anything else that's smaller than your standard letter writing paper. You're definitely not gonna have to do as much writing on that. And then also, major prison hack, we probably talked about this in the past as well. But let's say you write in your girl on a piece of tissue paper. That can't do nothing but showcase to whoever's receiving that. Oh my God, Billy sent me the sweetest letter written on some toilet paper. He's not doing good in there, Mom. He's not. Yes, I'm getting ready to send him that entire stimulus check. Not only would you not have to write so much, you could also use that to signify the fact that you really need an SOS. And I don't mean signal in distress or whatever SOS stands for. I mean send on sight. As soon as you receive that letter, you got sight on it, you better send that. Put that money order in the mailbox. Don't worry about writing me today. Use that stamp for that money order. And I've definitely seen all of these things that I'm sharing with you. All of these things, they're real things. They might sound horrible. Have I done these things? I'm sure that I have. I'm not proud to admit that. But prison is about survival. And if you can get some support from the outside world, there's not a lot of people who are going to say, I don't need that. Just the way it is when you're locked up. Another prison hack, let's say you don't write a letter for a long time, maybe a week or two. There's no money on the phone, so you can't call. And then you finally do send that letter, you can tell them anything. I've been on lockdown. I got in a fight defending your honor, girl. Somebody tried to say you look like the real Honey Boo Boo from the TV show. I had to bang bang all upside that dude. I lost, and I'm hurting real bad. If you could send me a couple dollars so I could buy me some Band-Aids, really mean a lot. Sometimes you ain't even gotta write a letter. You can just make up an excuse and, you know, don't get me wrong. There are definitely times. If a dude don't write, you know, it's probably more so true than not true, like some made up stuff. It's probably more so for real. That person is on lockdown for one reason or another. And given the current state of the world right now, a lot of prisoners are on lockdown right now. You know, I don't want this video to discourage anybody who's writing to anybody who's in a relationship with somebody who is serving time. Look, not all prisoners are like this. This is just something worth noting that definitely does take place. All of these damn things. And you know, sometimes the prisoners don't feel like writing no letter. Sometimes it's stressful. Sometimes that responsibility, when you're locked up, you don't got no responsibility. All you gotta do is make sure you don't get killed, make sure your name stays good, wake up, go play outside, eat, and make a phone call if you're able to do so, or write a letter. And sometimes that responsibility of that letter, oh God, I gotta write this girl back. Sometimes that could be a lot. It could be a lot of pressure. And you know, mentioning, you know, using a lockdown as an excuse, I can't say that I've actually ever seen this happen, and maybe I'm just making this one up because it sounds good. I'll be honest and say that. But can you imagine getting a letter from a dude, and that letter starts off like, "Dear little booby sweat, I know I haven't wrote in a while. It's the concrete jungle in here, baby. Times are tough, but I'm always thinking of you. I've defended your honor 15 times in the last 2 days. People keep trying to compare you to a humpback whale. I'm not going for that. Wait, baby, hold on, baby. Baby, can you hear me? Babe, hey, you're breaking up, baby. There's a riot taking, I gotta go. There's a riot taking place. I'm swinging right now, baby. I'll write you just as soon as I can. Don't forget to send me the money." So some definite prison hacks right there in relation to letter writing. Not writing for a while, possibly because of some real stuff that's taking place, and in more cases than not, that's actually gonna be the real reason. Or using something like that as an excuse. Even writing it in a letter, like literally having the letter just trail off. The suspense right there. How did they get the letter mailed? Another hack, and we've talked about this one before. You know, some prisoners are living so high on the hog in prison, such boss status. They got it like that, lockers full up, renting the locker of a guy that can't afford no commissary. That really does take place. I've seen dudes with 3 or 4 lockers full up, renting a locker from a dude for 7 ramen noodle soups a week, soup a day. And that's the craziest thing in the world, to be having a locker slam full of commissary that ain't yours. Talked about Coffee Man here before in the past. Crazy stories involving him. He rented his locker out. But certain prisoners got it like that, and they just too important, too busy, too many TV shows to be catching up on, too much music to be listening to, too many SoundCloud rap songs to be writing, to take the time out of their busy day incarcerated to write a letter back to whatever girl is sending their entire check once a week. But they got to keep that up. They got to keep that girl right out there. So what they're going to do, they're going to pay a prisoner. It is a prison hustle, one of the craziest prison hustles there is, to write letters to the loved ones of prisoners who don't feel like writing, who want to showcase just how good they got it. Hey, yo, you ain't made commissary in 40 years. I'm going to pay you a ramen noodle soup. Here, take that. Maybe even a cup of noodle. Pay you a ramen noodle soup. Hey, write my girl for me. Let me know what she's talking about. It's basically like being a prisoner secretary. Yeah, Mr. Dookie Stain? Yes, your girl said that she's leaving you and she's found somebody else. Don't get mad at me! I'm just a messenger. Just recently I had mentioned a cellmate of mine who I wish I never lost contact with, a guy by the name of Fred. I remember Fred actually did this for a kingpin status prisoner. And I'm not talking about this guy was selling kilos in the free world or had a Cessna single prop airplane. He just maxed out on commissary every single week. He was a kingpin. And Fred would write letters to this guy's girlfriend for him. Tell him what the girl said. Ask him if there was anything he wanted him to include in the letters. Fred, I trust your judgment. You just tell her whatever you think she's going to want to hear. And time went past. Fred and this guy had a falling out. Fred got moved. He would have never done this if he was still in the same cell block. I'll never forget the day they moved me or moved Fred. I can't remember which one happened first, but that was a real sad day. Anytime you got a cellmate who you consider a friend and you're real tight with that person, and they get moved out, or you get moved, or they go to prison or go home, you're damn near be in tears. You're going to be depressed behind that. But after Fred got separated from this dude, he wrote a letter to the guy's girl and said, I know everything about you. Actually, you've been writing this little scrawny white boy for the last couple of months. We've been having paper sex. I don't know how that all played out. I'm sure that dude found out and wanted to kill Fred. But it was damn funny to hear about that afterwards. And that's a risk that a prisoner is going to take trying to be a boss in prison, not wanting to write his own loved ones back. That can backfire on you in a major way, just like it did in that case. We've mentioned a lot of hacks in relation, well, not really a lot. We've mentioned a couple of hacks. I'm sure there's a lot more that I can include in this video. I don't want to make this super long. If there's any prison hacks in relation to letter writing, I mean, because we can go even further with this. Put a little bit of that prayer oil on that paper so when that girl reading that letter, send a little DNA on the paper. Oh, God, I mean, we're talking we could take this thing really far. But if there's anything that I haven't included, I want to leave that open for you guys to comment down below and let me know what you think are some prison hacks in relation to writing letters while in prison. Think if you're writing 2 or 3 girls and you got to have a notebook, a little black book with notes in it, so you don't forget what you tell them. What I'm trying to tell you, it is a deep spider web of craziness that takes place. And you thought it was just pen to paper. It's like the damn Matrix, binary number code scrolling down the screen. Shit is deep. But again, please comment down below if you guys would like to contribute to this conversation in any way. If you want to tell me to go F myself, that's totally fine as well. But there's one final thing that I want to mention before I wrap this video up. And it's not so much, well, it's not about the prisoner side at all. It's about the loved one in the free world side. A hack for them. Something that you might have not even known about. But let's just say, man or woman, you're out here, you're writing to somebody, you got a relationship, that relationship doesn't pan out for whatever reason, and you're mad about that. Well, what I've seen, and it's crazy, there's a market for everything, folks. You could take all those damn letters, all that damn artwork that that dude or that girl sent to you and put that on eBay. Folks, they are selling prison mail. Not only prison artwork, but the letters themselves on eBay. And they're listed for a decent little price. Now, it might not be nothing in comparison to the money that you've kicked on commissary, but it is a little bit of something that you could potentially get back. It's not like I see this like once or twice. I'm seeing a whole bunch of posts on eBay, a bunch of listings for prison mail. Can you imagine buying some of them, like buying one of those stacks of mail, running across those steamy erotica letters? People are probably buying that just for that, now that I think about it. So yeah. A hack for people out in the free world, put that mail up on eBay. Somebody's gonna buy it. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up, and I truly hope that you guys enjoyed this. And if you did so, please leave a like and a comment letting me know exactly what you think, and also, if you would like to see a continuation of this prison hack series. I think it could be quite insightful and possibly, kind of crazy and humorous as well. As always, until next time, enjoy life, the free world. Never take a moment for granted and make the most of every day. Peace!